welcome back. Let's do the deploy. It'll be easy peasy. So if you feel like things are pretty good, you can go ahead and do an ng build prod. And I think things are pretty good. There are some cleanup steps that I should probably do. Should I do them? So the cleanup steps are that I should probably run ng-lint. I'll tell you what, we'll push it and then we'll make sure it works, and then maybe we'll do the cleanup steps after that. So I'm going to go ahead and do ng build prod. The next thing I want to do is I want to do a Firebase init. So as soon as this finishes up, so that's done. So I'll do Firebase init. And so it looks like, oh, my Firebase tools could use a minor update. I want to do just hosting. And I'm going to push this to password keeper. So I'm going to look for password keeper. There it is right there. And I'm going to use the dist folder. Single web app, you betcha, yes to that. Override, no siree. And so now it's initialized. And then I'm going to do Firebase deploy. And while that's doing the deploy, I'm going to go look to see what changes Firebase init did. So it connected it to there, and it's got that debug thing that was a temporary file while it was running. And then this is here, so I'm just going to say my Firebase init is here. And then I'm going to go see what my deployed website looks like. So I'm going to hit refresh, and it should be the finished thing, which is cool. And so now we've got all these pieces. So we got sign out, we've got sign in with Rosefire, we've got the auto forwarding, we've got the creation of a new service, which I just think is cool. We've got the delete, remove, those things worked out great. We've got edit. Now whenever you edit it, it does close it again. Feature. And so I think things are looking really good. The little cleanup things that you could do, maybe I'll leave this as a task for you. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Is inside the app module, the way we did Angular material is we kind of did a kitchen sink to make our development easier. But there's a bunch of these that we know we don't need. So like autocomplete, button toggle, checkboxes, icons, imports, list, menus. We did a bunch of those. Progress, bars, radio buttons, ripple we probably used on the buttons, select elements, I don't think we used any select elements, side nav, slider, slide toggle, tabs, and tooltips. We didn't use any of those, right? So what I did is I took them out of the imports, and then the next one is easy because now I can just see which ones have red on them, and I can just kill the same ones that have red on them. And so after you do a cleanup like that, you should definitely go through and make sure that your app still works in case you killed something that you didn't mean to kill. And you'll actually be able to know just from localhost. Make sure you go through all the different paths that your app can do. And if it crashes anywhere, then you deleted something you probably shouldn't have deleted. So if I wanted to, sign out and sign in, I could you can also get rid of extra logs, and you could edit things, and you just kind of make sure that none of your UI is using something you weren't expecting. Remove something, snack bar there. Everything seems fine with those changes. The other thing you could do, if you wanted to, is you could do an ng-lint. I'm kind of afraid to do an ng-lint because it probably found plenty of things, right? So it looks like there is a whole bunch of double quotes that should be single quotes. And so, really a good programmer would go through and make sure that all their linting things are fine. And so I guess I'll go through and do it. But you should get in the habit of going through and doing this as well. I won't bother to make you watch me do it in the video though, because it's going to be boring. All right, I think I'm almost there. So it was complaining, apparently I had my colon in the wrong spot on that line. But I think I'm getting there. So a bunch of them were just the single quote, double quote thing. Cool. All passing. Excellent. After you do a whole bunch of linting changes, you should kind of go through some of your testing as well. So there's kind of my sign in. There's kind of my creation. There's my removal. Here's my edit. Looks like all the basics are working there. So go look for some of those changes. And you can see that they're all pretty boring linting changes. but now my linter is all happy. And also I did get rid of those extra modules. So I'm a little curious. So this is just my ng lint and material removals. I'm a little curious if it actually made much of an impact on my file size, my disk folder. So we'll just go play this experiment together. So I've never done this before, so we'll just see what the numbers are like. So I've currently got a disk folder here, and I'll say get info. And so you as my witness will say that this is 1.536. Right now the disk folder is that big. But now if we were to build it again, so ng build -prod. So obviously the linting is not going to help my size at all, but there's some chance that the removal of the material design things might make the disk a little bit smaller. So as soon as this is done, we'll see. All right, so it finished up. Now is the moment of truth. I'm going to predict no change at all. Get info, it was 1.53 before, now it's 1.53. Had absolutely no impact. So I'm not going to bother. Remove the kitchen sink next time. I could deploy it again, but I really don't want to bother. So once you've got this deployed web app working, you can copy it. If you're taking the class for credit, you can go ahead and submit it. The other thing you can do is you can now think about what additional things you can do on the lab. So there's the photo bucket auth lab that you've been assigned last time, and you can do a lot more on here now. So now when you sign out, you can sign in with 2 routes, Rose-Hulman login or Google. You don't know how to do Google yet, but you do know how to do Rose-Hulman. So I would recommend that you go ahead and do that part of the app. The next is there's all these cards. You know how to make cards. You just have to figure out how to do it with images. It'll be quite doable. The switching between tabs is something we're not going to ever show you, so you can actually do that because you've got all the skills. Clicking on plus shows a dialog, and you can do that. And with Photo Bucket, you can add a photo in one of 2 ways. Either you can add an existing URL, and that actually you have the skills to do right now. So if I went and just did a search for sun images, so it's just kind of a ridiculous search, and I were to take this image URL and I was to find my app, where to go. If I was to go to this and say sun and hit save, so that is using an existing URL, and you know how to do that actually. And you can click on edit and you can make it say sun and you can save it. And so you actually have a ton of skills that you can use in your lab now. The lab isn't due for a while, but I would recommend that you go through, you visit this URL, you think about what you can do now, and see what you can get implemented. And that will help you out a lot for when it is assigned, right? Okay, so that is it for the password keeper unit. Hopefully you picked up just a lot of skills in this process. The core of it was officially like Rose-Hulman login, but as you can see, we intentionally picked a much bigger project so we can show you a lot of these other skills. All right, come back next time for the next exciting unit. Bye.